The Twin Valley Locker Room Show takes you inside Tiger Chorale in the music department at Clay Center Community High School. Twin Valley Locker Room Show, it's powered by Pulse Internet. All your devices, one superior connection. We're joined by Kelby Wichman, Lauren Lane, Kade Wallace, part of Tiger Chorale, which I know has been very, very busy. Kelby, I'm going to start with you. You were saying that the NCKL choir was taking place. Kind of give us a look at what that's about for maybe those who don't understand that and how you guys did.
Well, NCKL choir, it's not really a competition. It's where all the NCKL choir or NCKL schools get together, and they just kind of sing a couple songs and learn music together. And it's a long day, but it's fun, and you learn a lot of things that the instructor teaches you, and it's just really it's a good experience.
So a lot of people that you don't normally get to perform with, do you end up performing with those students?
Yes, we perform for the Chapman High School when we learn all these songs, and it's really cool because you meet new people and you sometimes make friends, and it's a cool thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Lauren, let's talk a little bit about the national anthems you guys have been performing. There was a stretch where Clay Center was home, as you know, on the basketball floor a lot. You guys had a chance to perform quite a bit. What's that like before games that you're getting ready to play, but also getting ready to sing?
I don't know. It's kind of stressful because I have to go down to the locker room and then remember to come back up and warm up with the rest of the Tiger Chorale. But I don't know. It's a lot of fun that we get to show the community how well we sing, and sometimes we do quartets, so we'd have an alto, soprano, tenor, and bass sing, and I don't know, that was a little bit more nerve-wracking because it's only four of you singing the national anthem, and so if you mess up, it's a little bit more noticeable. But I don't know, we were all kind of excited to be able to sing the national anthem at all the sporting events.
Yeah, that's great, and they may have been nervous. You couldn't tell it. They did a terrific job, trust me. Kade, Lauren mentioned some of the different groups you guys split up into. I guess give us an idea what kind of groups you guys do split up into, what parts you like better than the others?
I would say there's four groups: the soprano, tenor, alto, and bass. The altos are the lower singing girls, the sopranos are the highest, the tenor guys are the higher boys, and the bass is the lower boys. And I would say that it's easier for me to sing tenor because that's what I've always been singing, and it's harder to, if you switch to bass or baritone, it's harder to recognize the lower notes when you've always been listening for the higher ones, so tenor is probably my favorite.
Very cool. Now you guys have That's Entertainment. It's not that far away. Have you been working on it already?
Yeah, we're working on Stardusters now, and we're finishing up with Stardusters, and we're going to move on to That's Entertainment in a couple of weeks probably. So,
favorite part of being on stage in Tiger Chorale? Is it the fun you guys have? Is it the dancing? Do you not like the dancing? Just give me an idea what stands out to you.
I kind of like the dancing, to be honest. I think it's one of the better things to learn for me, but it's just it's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it looks like it from the crowd. I know that. Lauren, same thing for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I always have fun because Aza and I can never get the routine right, so we're always laughing on stage about something that one of us did wrong. So, I mean, the concerts are always fun because you never know what's going to happen.
Now, you guys have watched Tiger Chorale growing up, so you know what it's all about. Kade, were you excited about the potential to get into Tiger Chorale? Was it something you were apprehensive about?
Yeah, it was my freshman year. About halfway through, Mr. Malcolm told me that if I would start paying attention and focusing in class more and trying to sing, that I had a chance to be in Tiger Chorale my sophomore year, and that was fun, and it was pretty nerve-wracking because I would be the only sophomore in there, and I didn't know how people would react to having a sophomore in the class since it'd been a while, but it was fun. So,
real quickly, I'm going to let you guys talk about the transition because I know you've all been in a music program with Mr. Malcolm, and now Mrs. Bergsten has taken over. She's standing right here, so the pressure's on.
Yeah, the pressure is on. The main difference for me with Mrs. Bergsten and Mr. Malcolm was that Mr. Malcolm was a guy, and I could kind of learn better from him because he could hit the notes that I hit. But she's probably better at teaching girls because she's a girl and she can sing their notes right. But that's the main thing for me. So
makes sense. Makes good sense. Lauren.
I don't know. Mrs. Bergsten's kind of more laid back, and I mean, we still get stuff done, but it's not she's not yelling at us a whole lot to pay attention. I don't know.
Well, you guys have matured so much now that you pay much closer attention than when Mr. Malcolm was here. I'm not getting a response from Mrs. Bergsten, but I'll ask you, Kate.
I would say the same thing as Kelby and Lauren. Just being able to listen to Mr. Malcolm hit the notes is the same that you're singing, and Mrs. Bergsten tries her best, and she still does, but it's just a little different. She is a lot more laid back than Mr. Malcolm. We have a lot more messing around in Tiger Chorale, I would say, than we did with Mr. Malcolm, but it's a lot of fun to just have two different teachers and learn from both of them.
And both styles get you to the end result, which is what it's all about, being on stage and making the performance happen. Okay, told you guys Tiger Talk was coming, so our questions are going to center first around the Oscars. They were held on Sunday night. Anybody watch them?
I did not watch
Yeah, I didn't either.
Pre-show.
Watch the pre-show, okay. Question is, La La Land, since we're talking music, had a ridiculous amount of nominations thrown out there. If there was a Tiger Chorale performer that you think someday will be on the big screen, a movie star, who would it be?
I'm going to have to say Garrett Craig, probably.
Okay, Garrett Craig. Any reason? I'm getting chuckles over here.
Mainly because he sings the loudest, and he's good with people, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like he'd be the one.
All right, I like that.
I don't know. I think Emma. I mean, because she got into the women's choir at Benedictine, and so I don't know. She already has like a future in music.
Sure.
I don't know, and she just always has been like one to love singing, and so I guess I see her going somewhere with it.
I can see that, Kate.
I'll check back on Kelby's. Garrett might be on the big screen, but he will not be dancing if he is. I would probably go with Marte or Asa because Asa has a lot of experience with music, and I'm in a piano class with him, and he's just really good, and he likes to experiment with all the different instruments. And then Marte is just so outgoing, and she doesn't care what other people think of her, so that's why I think those two.
All right. Second question, favorite musical movie? And if you don't have a favorite musical, then just favorite movie.
I'm going to go with The Sandlot, even though it's not a musical. That's the greatest movie ever made.
I don't know. I think the High School Musicals are pretty good, and since those are the only like musical movies, I don't know.
Very good.
If I had to choose, it would not be the High School Musical. I've seen those so many times because of my sisters, but I'd have to go with The Sound of Music if I was choosing a musical.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And final question. I asked this of the sports teams too, but I think it fits into when you guys get ready for a performance, a superstition or habit that you have to do before taking the stage.
I'm really super, like my bow tie. I always fix my bow tie. Like if my bow tie's messed up, like I just kind of freak out. Like it has to be perfect. My bow tie has to be perfect.
All right, very good.
I don't know, just make sure that like we have a little clasp on the back of our dress, and so like it's just on the top, so it doesn't really matter, but a lot of times it'll come undone, so I guess I'm always like checking in to see if that happens before we perform.
I can understand that.
I would probably say I just like to watch people that are really nervous about the performance, because once you go out there, nobody really makes fun of you or anything. They just laugh at you, laugh with you if you mess up, so it's just fun to watch the nervous people.
Well, you guys do great work on stage, I can tell you that. So whatever superstitions you need to use, keep using them, I would say. Kelby, Wichman, Lauren Lane, Kade, Wallace, part of Tiger Chorale in the music department at Clay Center Community High School. The Twin Valley Locker Room Show takes you inside the music department at Clay Center Community High School, and we're joined now by Kara Bergsten, Mrs. Bergsten of the music department, a former student who was a part of Tiger Chorale and the music world here at Clay Center. That's my first question. I think you've probably been asked it before. What is it like to come back basically home?
It's been really great. I always thought this would be the dream job, is to come back to where I grew up and all of the programs. Like growing up, I loved going to Stardusters, and then I got to be in it. I loved going to the Singing Christmas Tree, and then, I got to be in it, and now I'm in charge of it. And the same with That's Entertainment. I always looked forward to that every year as a little girl, like getting to go watch it. So to be in charge of it and put it together, it's really awesome. I love it.
What about the differences of watching it growing up, wanting to be a part, getting to be a part of it, and now seeing it from a whole different perspective?
Yeah, I'd say the perspective I have now is the most stressful, obviously, and difficult. But as a student, even in high school, you have no idea all of the background, items and all the organizing that goes on to get it put together. So as a teacher teaching it, it's just a whole nother level of, okay, it looks really neat and it sounds great in the end, but there's all of this work that goes into it. So
Talk about where you're at now with Stardusters, when it's coming up, and what all you have to do with that right now.
So Stardusters is basically a band program, but Tiger Chorale does have 2 pieces that we sing. So it's coming up on March 17th. It's a Friday in about 3 weeks. And we are singing 2 different songs. This year, it's the 75th anniversary of it, and so we're doing a diamond theme. So our songs are songs that have reached diamond certification by I think it's the RIAA. So anyway, we picked 2 songs, Firework by Katy Perry, and then Hello Goodbye by the Beatles. So, and then I'm kind of helping with the sound as well, and making sure all the sound is working and the microphones are working, so.
And I know that you can't focus on that's entertainment, but that's such a big monster when it does come around. Have you kind of already, you've had to be making plans by now, right?
Yeah, actually, freshman choir and robed choir are already learning their That's Entertainment songs, and most of them have already learned 1 whole song. In Tiger Chorale, we have all the music picked out and ready to go. It's just, we'll probably start on it like in 2 weeks. We'll start learning it, actually. And I have all the choreographers lined up and everything, so.
And tell me the dates for That's Entertainment.
Yes, it is on May, let me think about this, 4th and May 5th. So it's a Thursday and a Friday in May.
And if you've not been before, a lot of people that'll be watching obviously have, but if you haven't, it really is worth your time. It's a lot of fun. Okay, you get Tiger Talk too.
Okay.
All right? Oscars on Sunday, did you watch?
I did not watch. I saw, I guess, a few snidbits of it, but I didn't really sit down and watch it.
I think that's the answer I'm getting from everybody, it seems like. Okay, La La Land, have you seen the movie?
I have not. I've seen the trailer, but I haven't actually watched the movie. I've heard a few of the songs, but...
Emma Stone won Best Actress for the movie. So tell me, which Tiger Chorale member do you think would be the next movie star?
I can see Emma doing it because she wants to go into music, and also she is just very poised when she's on stage and very confident. So I can see her doing that.
Good answer. Okay, if you have a favorite musical, name it. If not, favorite movie.
Sound of Music, just because it's so classic and the songs are awesome and it has a really good story. So
Very cool. And I'll ask you a 2-part question.
okay.
As an entertainer when you were in high school, and now as a teacher, first as a student, were there certain superstitions or habits that you had before you would go on stage?
I think it was always making sure like I had a really good drink of water, like making sure my throat wasn't like dry. I think that was the biggest thing when I was a performer. I was always really worried about that. And then as a teacher, it's just making sure that my music is in order. My biggest fear is I get up there and like my music is all screwed up and I have to shuffle papers. So.
Well, things in order are pretty necessary in this world that you're in. So really appreciate the time to let us come in and kind of take a look at Tiger Chorale. Best of luck with Stardusters and with That's Entertainment that'll be coming up in May. So look forward to those performances. The Twin Valley Locker Room Show takes you inside the Clay Center High School Music Department.